Welcome to the show, and welcome to So Bright. So, when you start training and actually using your equipment, it will eventually fail. Velcro hook and loop fasteners can wear out, nylon buckles can break, webbing can fray or get ripped off, rips and tears and holes can appear in cordura, in your rucksacks, in your tents, in your shelters, in your pouches. And once things start to break, it will necessitate either repair or replacement. And in today's consumeristic society, it is easy to go and replace things and just spend the money on it, but that will get more and more expensive, and that isn't really sustainable out there, especially nowadays when things get more and more and more expensive. So that leads over to repairing equipment. Now, while you can get away with a heavy gauge needle and some nylon bonded thread or wax thread out there, it will be tedious and will take a long time. So you can go instead get a heavy duty sewing machine. And while you can get away with domestic household sewing machines, I've done that before in some of repairs. It will destroy and reduce the service life of the machine, and eventually destroy the machine. And I've broken quite a few household sewing machines that way, and it's just more things to have around, more things to break, more things to throw away, and I don't really want to deal with that anymore. So instead I got myself a heavy-duty sewing machine. Now, while domestic sewing machines are great for mending and repairing clothing or making new clothing from scratch, and it has more features than that of an industrial machine or that of a heavy-duty machine, such as a free arm, a greater selection of stitches, and it's more easier to use and set up. Yet for larger equipment out there, and with using heavy webbing or heavy cordura and sewing through many layers of thick material, it will destroy a lightweight or ordinary household sewing machine. So instead I got something like this. This is a Sailrite LSZ-1 Walking Foot zigzag sewing machine. It is about the same footprint as the domestic sewing machine, but is significantly more robust and has a walking foot out there to go through many layers of material, a heavy-duty motor, and a significantly stronger frame. I have no affiliation at all with Sailrite. There are other makers out there for this sort of product or this sort of category. However, I choose this one just because it seems quite robust. Anyone who has one of them seems to be quite happy with it. And the only time people seem to get rid of it is either to sell it to have money for additional funds for something else, or that they find that this is too overkill for their own particular needs, such as that of sewing together clothing. But for my own needs, I think this is a necessary purchase, but I don't know if this will be adequate enough for whatever I need to repair with. So let's go find out. So with this heavy-duty sewing machine, I'm going to go and repair a couple pieces of equipment. One is this blue Alpha EDC nylon belt. What's wrong with it is the hook and loop fasteners, the Velcro on it, has worn out. So after a couple of years of use, the Velcro has worn out, so I need to go and replace it. And I initially took it to a tailor, where he has replaced it with additional new Velcro strips. However, they're a bit substandard, they worn out, they also ripped and fell out. So I'm hoping that with actual good quality Velcro, like name brand Velcro, as well as a proper thread, as per the mil spec, that this belt would be in serviceable condition. And the other thing that I need to go and repair is this direct action Dragon Egg day pack. It's still a great pack. However, one problem I have with it is that the waist strap has been missing and the buckle has broken. So I need to go and replace that and sew together a new piece of webbing out there and keep the buckle in place and have a new buckle. With that, I can have new life for this day pack. And when I start using my equipment more and more often, it would necessitate repairs eventually. And I'd rather use the equipment that I'm familiar with rather than go and buy new stuff, which is more and more expensive. And a lot of the Chinese stuff out there, I still find it to be quite suspect, and there might be some things I don't like about it. Or that if there are some deficiencies with substandard equipment, such as that of poor quality stitching, especially that of webbing on 1000-year Cordura, this machine can keep this stuff out of the dumpster and out of landfill and have a new set of life for it. And I can also be using that to use it as a stopgap piece of equipment, or to give it away. So I'm going to go cite a few references to go and repair this equipment. One is the U.S. Army MOLLE 2 repair manual, the technical manual for that, as well as U.S. Army TM 4-22.21 General Fabric Repair. And I'm also going to go use that to go and reference for the appropriate thread, the appropriate needles, and the appropriate materials and fabric and other webbing or Velcro so to go and repair the equipment. I need to go cut a piece of loop Velcro 12 inches in length, about 1.5 inches tall. And then I'm going to need to go and cut a piece of hook Velcro about 1.5 inches tall with a length of 4 inches. I need to go and remove the stitches, remove the old pieces of Velcro, and then go and cut new pieces of Velcro from the raw 4-inch strip I have to the appropriate lengths, and then sew it back on. Okay, so I got a roll of loop Velcro, and then I'm going to go and lay it down to create a tick mark about 12 inches long. Go ahead and mark that with a ruler. And then once I have that down, I'll go and use my chalk to go and mark the edges of where I need to go sew. So it might be very faint, but with this blue piece of chalk over there, it contrasts well with the brown color. And those are my ends for the loop side. Now for the hook side, mark with a piece of chalk again, tailor's chalk, and then get my piece of hook Velcro. Go and mark it about the same length. There we go. Okay, so not as clean as I'd like it to be, but hopefully it's clean enough for me to go and drive new stitches through it and put new material on it. Trying to make it for a functional repair, not something that is exactly perfect. So I just simply need to go and undo this over here on this little fastener. And from there I have this free piece over here. I'll go and try and copy it. I have a fresh spool of American-made tan 499 or Coyote Brown 1.5 inch webbing, and I also have a matching 1.5 inch buckle, both male and female set, to go and pair with it. So we have a piece of webbing over here, and then we have one end that is raw yet free, and then another side that has this sort of folded end piece where you have a length about 2.5 inches or so folded in on itself with a straight stitch across. I'll go and try and copy it. So I'm simply going to do is I'm not going to go use any measuring tools. I'm just going to go and take the free ends over here, line them together, and then just outstretch the new raw piece of webbing over here. And we have this end over here, this free end. I'll go mark it. Mark how long this piece is over here. And I'll go and add 2 more pieces over here. That way it folds in on itself. I don't know what the technical terms for all this. I never took a fashion course or went to fashion school or anything. A lot of everything has been just mostly self-taught. And if I have a little bit more of a length, that isn't too much of an issue. If it's too short, then I can't lengthen it. If it's too long, I can shorten it. But I don't have to be super precise with this particular kind of repair. With my mark, I'll take a pair of scissors and I'll go and cut along here. And then I'll go and take a lighter and then just finish off this raw edge. Melt everything together so it doesn't fray. Okay, now I'll go and fold it in on itself until it looks and like the other side. So you have it over here, looks the same, and then I'm going to go and just put a double stitch, a straight stitch right across here. Okay, I'm going to go leave the thread tension the same, since this is a pretty thick piece of material, about 3 layers thick. But new needle, I don't know if I bent the needle or not, so I just want to be safe. That way I don't damage the machine. And let's see how it goes. Okay, did some double layer stitching. Hopefully it would hold and be secure. Let's go trim the threads, weave in our buckles, and put our pack back together. So we have a little bit of a curve here, so it kind of matters on how we insert our webbing into the buckle. Otherwise it would be just uncomfortable. So from the inner loop to the outer loop, let's see how it goes. Not quite. Let's try the outer loop to the inner loop. There we go. We have this area over here, the bulky part on the outside, so it doesn't cause any discomfort and rubbing when using the pack. Have our buckle over here, and let's see how it works. not going to go anywhere, and I think this will work well. Then just weave the webbing back in place. Not like that. How does it go? Over itself and then through itself. There we go. That's tight. We'll do the other side. Let's go to the other side. And let's see if it works. So one little issue is that with this design to buckle, it doesn't have enough friction for it to remain in place. So with the Sailrite LSZ-1 Walking Foot sewing machine, I was able to successfully get some repairs done on some equipment and be able to reuse it and give it a new lease of life. This direct action belt over here, the CDC belt, worn out Velcro, ripped out the old Velcro, put in new Velcro, and now the belt's good to go. This direct action Dragon Egg pack, missing and broken buckles, missing webbing, sewed on a new piece, and now it's mostly good to go. However, both things have imperfect repairs. This is the wrong color. This buckle over here, it's not the right type. I should have used dual slide release buckles, but I didn't know as much, didn't know better. But at least I don't need to go and resew anything. The stitch work for this pack is good to go. Also with this Blue Alpha EDC belt, it has secure and good Velcro on it now. However, the stitching is a bit imperfect. The tension isn't as good. However, it's my first time using this machine. It's my first time trying to sew anything heavier than clothing and not break the machine. And there is a few imperfections here and there. I'm not used to it. However, this machine is great for whatever I needed it to do. And I don't have any affiliates with this, but it may not be a bad idea to get one yourself. There are Chinese copies out there that are like copies of this machine that take the same parts, but I've heard of more complaints about it, worse metallurgy. And for this one, I was able to get it secondhand off of local classifieds for about the same price as the Chinese one. So shop around if you can. If you see a good deal, snag one. But yeah, if you do end up training, you will break your equipment. So you got to figure out a way to go and sustain and repair it. And while there are things that are out there like a warranty, you may not always count on it. And simply buying stuff out there, it's quite expensive, and you're oftentimes just engaging in consumerism when you could just go and repair equipment. But yeah, for heavy-duty sewing machines and trying to repair stuff for the first time, thank you very much for watching the Sew So Bright channel.